Good day, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It is time for another episode of Journey Through Eorzea. As always, I'm your host, Man with Hat, Tiberius Fox. We were doing some stuff with Arenvald and Alphino. I'm not gonna lie, I've been really busy, so I don't really remember exactly because that's terrible. Life's gotten a little more busy recently, so I've been able to upload like every day, like I've been doing before. But that's neither here nor there. We're not here for that. Let's figure out what's going on with Lise. She wants things. Lisa's lost in thought, and so am I because I don't remember what we're doing. I don't know if we solved anything exactly, but we've given Fordola something to think about at least. Oh, that's right. We went in and we talked to her, and you know, it's funny because it was only a couple days ago, but like so much has happened. I planted like a whole garden and did a whole bunch of stuff, so it's like I've just been absolutely busy. So we went in and we talked to Fordola, and we're trying to convince her like, hey, and then we had the 8-track flashback and the whole thing. That's right. Okay. Yep. Okay. I. I've given. I don't remember what my voice was for him last time. That's so bad. And I've found something new to think about too. I don't know about you, Tiberius, but the visions only come to me every now and again then. From the way Thordola kept wincing, though, I got a feeling she's having them almost all the time. That's a lot of bad memories to deal with. Hmm. I wonder, could there be a fundamental difference between one who is born with the echo and one who is artificially imbued with it? Well, the Immortal Flames have been scouring the research facility ever since the liberation. There's a chance they might have answers for us. General Aldine's there overseeing the investigation. Let's go pay him a visit, shall we? Why is he there? Like, I'm not saying he shouldn't be there, but that's just odd that he would be there. Like, you know. Like, doesn't he, like, I guess we won, so maybe he doesn't feel the need to do that anymore. Like, he's like, well, I got nothing else going on, so I guess I'll do that. I have no idea. I always get lost in the city. I hate the Alamy Court. I just do. I don't know where I'm supposed to go when I get lost all the time. Terrible. Alright. General Aldine is inside. Will you be joining him? I think that's the whole reason I'm here, so yes, I will in fact go in and join him. What news? You spoke with Fordola, I take it? Yes, as expected, she didn't have very much to say, but it wasn't a total waste of time. Arnvald noticed something odd about her. He thinks she might be having visions almost constantly, which is not how the Echo normally works. Have you found anything here which might explain why it's so different for her? We've been hard-pressed just to organize the research materials, let alone study them. To be frank, I'd welcome the science expert assistance if you have the time to lend a hand. So in other words, Alphino? Or, I mean, we got Ironvault, I guess, but... Magic. What does Alphino have to say? What do you have to say, Alphino? For a race with no innate capacity to manipulate aether, Gallians have conducted some exceedingly elaborate etheric experiments. Yeah, I can told you that. That's right, I will do it through here through the floor. The device in which Kryl was held seems even more ominous now that you know its purpose. The surrounding pods are marked Supply Subject, while this one bears the label Master Subject. Okay. The Ironworks received a request from the Alliance to analyze these devices, and I've been recording everything of interest. Did you notice the labeling? All the pods are designed to drain the aether of the occupant, save that one right there. Unlike the others, the interiors have been fitted with an array of sensors to measure etheric waveforms. To that purpose, however, I couldn't tell you. Sounds like you're dumping all their aether from like a bunch of people into one. Kind of funneling, maybe? Come, flame investigator person. So many bodies, every one of them a victim of these experiments. If you show any signs of external injury, from what we've been able to determine, they perish from forcible aether extraction. Such a miserable way to die. I'm gonna take your word for it, I don't really know. But yeah, they do be lots of dead bodies around. They just kind of like leave them there, just in tarps or in body bags, I guess. I know little and less about science, so any light you can shed upon this facility's operations will be much appreciated. Tiberius, shall we start with you? Yeah, done dumping all that aether from much people into one person. I think that's how it works. Taken in combination with the testimonies of Kryl and Thancred, I do begin to see exactly why the Imperials, or what the Imperials were attempting here. The enhancement procedure entailed infusing a single candidate with the aether siphoned from a multitude of supply subjects. As for the master subject, in this case Kryl, the patterns of her etheric activity would provide the model upon which they would artificially engineer the candidate's aura. In other words, they were trying to recreate Kryl's echo? I believe so, which would explain our prisoner's present state. Kryl is possessed of an unrivaled ability to hear the whispers of the soul, and it seems probable that the procedure engendered the same acute sensitivity in Fordola. The soldiers who guard Fordola, many of them lost friends and family to the skulls. And there's a sentry at her door day and night. If she can't help sensing their thoughts and seeing their past... She's just seeing all the people that she murdered all the time because of the echo. But don't you see their past? You live it. All the emotions, all the pain. Imagine what she'd do to you. You'd never be the same again. Indeed. As you may recall, Eorzea was completely transformed by a single glimpse of her Esphaghar's past. Fordola has been forced to experience the agony of those whose lives she destroyed. The guilt must be unbearable. That explains her request to be executed. Sounds to me like a kind of justice. Regardless, she can suffer on for now. We have more pressing matters to consider. If the results of these experiments have been relayed back to Garlemald, there will be naught to stop the Empire from repeating the trick. They could give the echo to anyone, to an entire legion. We must be ready. We must learn all we can from these godforsaken procedures, and Fordola remains our best source of information. She'll not be getting her wish, not yet. Right. Keep faith, lass. If you're convinced others to follow you, you must believe what you're telling them. People will respond to passion, but not if it's feigned. I understand. Thank you, General. We should leave the flames to it. Let's go. You should change your shoes, Lise, because they're silly. That's right, I'll just keep throwing shade at Lisa's shoes. On this channel, we are all team making fun of Lisa's shoes. That's what we're doing. Just want to be clear. I go looking for answers about the Echo and end up getting schooled by Raubahn. Yet more evidence that I don't know what I'm doing. It's no wonder people listen to him and not me. General Aldine is a veteran of countless campaigns, Lise. You cannot compare yourself to a commander of his experience. I know, but I also know that I couldn't have convinced that mob to give up and go home. It makes me realize how much we rely on his authority and how much I have to learn. I wonder what we'll do when everything here is settled. I mean, it's his homeland. After going through the trouble winning it back, might he not want to stay? 'Tis a quandary which countless refugees now face, to continue the life they have built in Ul'dah, or start again in the land of their birth. Also, let's be real, there's like a risk, right? Like, yeah, we conquered it, but like, what if you come back and start building a life here, and then the Empire comes back and crushes everything we have here, and then you're back under subjugation, or you get killed, right? Like, there's no guarantee that this place stays free. They're like, well, they're busy with other uprisings. There's no guarantee that'll last. Until the Empire is completely stopped, you would never know. So I would think, like, if they've already built... I mean, unless they're really, really big patriots, right? I don't know. Tiberius, a moment. I am newly returned from Ul'dah with a message from the Sultana. Her Grace desires an audience with you. She understands that you have responsibilities here, but asks that you visit the palace at your earliest convenience. Okay, I can do a tour, sure. Well, I must away and attend to other business. Until next time, my friends. An audience with the Sultana. Depending on the nature of her consultation, this might be a perfect opportunity to inquire about the General's future plans. Yes, we'd all like to know about those, Alphino, but not everyone's as comfortable interrogating royalty as you. Take no notice of him, Tiberius. Don't mind me, I don't mind talking to royalty. I ain't scared. She ain't Jesus, I ain't worried. Let's go. Well, the question of how to put the Mad King's treasures to good use shows no sign of answering itself. Shall we be about it, Arenvald? I'm at your beck and call. And I should get back to my own tasks. I'll organize a squad to head down into the ruins, and then start preparing for the big meeting. Oh, send Nanamo my regards, Tiberius. Apparently this is all me, alright. And ours too, if you please. We shall see you upon your return. Alright, nerds. Let's go to Ulda. So yeah, you know, alright, I got a fun one. So yeah, I've been planting a garden. I will, just for kicks and giggles, I will put a photo up right now. You know, I wonder if I have, hang on, do I have that emote? Hang on, this is dumb, I'm being dumb, give me a second. Do I have, there was one, I don't know, it's like cheering or something like that. I was thinking about that one where you like show off and like you're like, look at this thing, but I don't know if I have that emote. I probably do, but I never use it, so I never think about it. Anyway, I'll put a picture on screen, like right now, of my planting. I planted in garden bags, and I did the whole thing. I know this is not game related, but this is just like what's part of what, like the type of stuff that's been slowing me down. So there has been my garden. Enjoy. Anyway, so yeah, so I don't know what the Sultana wants to talk about. I mean, Ulda, I would assume that he would want to keep doing whatever it, oh, the gold court, how nice. I just realized I'm just running around the thing. I was too busy thinking about other stuff. Alright, let's go find the Aether thing. I'm pretty sure it's speak with Bartholomew and Uldo. Isn't he the guy that runs the Paladins? Let's go. Wait, is it up there? Yeah, chamber rule. I don't know why I didn't think of this. I could have just teleported right from the thing there, but I didn't because I'm a doof. I'm a doof and a goof. No, I'm thinking of Genlin's, this guy. I don't remember who Bartholomew is. I assume he's like the guard that just stands there. Let's see what we got. No, wait, I want to see that. Who is this? The Summoner, level 54, Dragon Lady. Alright. My lord, it is an honor to face you in the tournament. Since that day, I have spent my every spare moment in the practice yard, striving to attain some fraction of your skill with the blade. Ah, forgive me. You are here to audience with the Sultana. Please proceed. I don't remember fighting him. I'm sure I did. I just don't remember. Oh, what you got to say?
I thank you for answering my summons in these most interesting times. You have been busy. The liberation of Alamigo will have far-reaching consequences, and there is a matter upon which I would seek your counsel. I speak of Raubahn and his future.
I could not possibly have guessed. How did this happen?
All know the tale of his rise from penniless refugee to member of the Syndicate and General of the Immortal Flames. Yet though he has come to call Ulda home, it will never be his homeland. He is a son of Alamigo.
I'm not saying Pippin is trash, but like, I don't know if I would be comfortable putting anyone else except for Raubahn in control of the Immortal Flames. But then again, like, what if Raubahn just suddenly died, or like when he was in jail, right? Someone has to run it. I'm just saying, like, you wouldn't want any of those other jerk-offs doing it. So, I mean, Pippin's alright. He's fine. I don't dislike Pippin. I have a hard time taking him seriously. I don't know, maybe because he's a Lalafell, and I have a hard time taking Lalafell seriously. He looks tiny. I'm like, oh, you have a sword. You're a very big, strong man. You know what I mean? But, like, whatever. It's fine. You know. Let's see. Yeah.
And now that she is free, I thought it only a matter of time before he sought my leave to return to her. Indeed, I had resigned myself to his loss. Suffice it to say, I was greatly surprised to hear him speak so lightly of handing over the reins in Alamigo and retaking his place at my side.
I can't believe he has loyalty. Can you believe it?
I will welcome him with open arms, of course. He is my most trusted advisor and my dearest friend.
You know what I always got vibes of? When I look at them, am I crazy? He carries her around sometimes. Bleach, where you have, what is it? Kenpachi, and he's got the little pink-haired girl, ironically, right? Just like this one. And he carries her around all the time. It looks like the same thing.
But I have known the man a long time, and beneath that steely gaze, I spied a flicker of doubt. Whether Raubahn chooses to remain in Uldar or return to Alamigo, I only wish that he do so with a heart unburdened by guilt or regret. Yet, how can he freely make such a choice, knowing how much I depend on him? It is past time that I learned to discharge my duties as a sultana alone. I must go forth and see my realm
this is
with my own
can I
eyes,
escort her
and
around
hear the
thing, isn't
wind
it?
with my
Okay.
own ears.
This is such a detour for no reason.
Might I have your company for a brief adventure?
Oh, fine, Nanamo, that's fine. I don't have any problem with that.
Wonderful. Allow me a moment to change into something a touch less conspicuous, and I will join you outside.
Nothing like a random escort mission detour. Alright, so where we're going. Speak with Nanamo outside the quicksand. Okay. So outside, she didn't mean like just outside the doors, which would be totally normal. No, it's... I guess maybe you want to be inconspicuous, like she wants to slip out and just be like, oh yeah, we'll meet at the quicksand. I'm gonna assume that's what it was. Let's go to the quicksand. Adventurers Guild. Isn't that the Adventurers Guild quicksand? Isn't it? Yeah, oh yeah, well, look at this tiny pink person.
Perchance you remember Lilira, the merchant's daughter? This is the persona I assume when I venture beyond the palace walls to observe my subjects unnoticed.
Yeah, I remember that.
Ordinarily, Papashan would accompany me, but for this particular outing I need an advisor, not a minder. And that is why I've requested your company. Over the course of your many adventures, you have met people from all walks of life, in every corner of Eorzea.
Because it's a journey through Eorzea, right? And I would... Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
And I would make use of your worldly experience. Now let us be on our way. Our first iteration is Stone's Throw, just beyond the Gate of Nald.
Well, in fact, I don't remember which one is the Gate of Nald, so I'm going to assume it's this one, because right over here... Is this it? Central Family. Nope. Alright, and we'll chocobo our way to success, or whatever, we'll dragon our way to success. Walking all the way over here? Nah, man, we ride dragons. Where am I? Oh yeah, right there, okay. Did not see her.
Look upon this procession of tattered tents. These refugees camp in squalor at the mercy of the elements of Thanalan's predators both. The city's mightiest walls offer safety, but the streets overflow with people as it is. But unless blessed by the hand of Nald himself, no refugee could ever hope to afford a dwelling in Uldar. 20 years have passed since the fall of Alamigo, and 5 since the calamity, yet the plight upon the poor has grown more desperate, not less. As Sultana, the blame falls upon me.
You've done your breast, your hands have been tied. Yeah, I'm gonna say that one.
Yes, my authority is limited, and that is an obstacle I must work to overcome. Shall we press on? I would follow the road to the unholy air.
I love how they name all these places that, like, I would never actually know what they are. But no, the interesting thing I think is funny... So, here's a fun fact. Having been, like I said, besides, like, doing gardening and stuff, I've also been playing Destiny, too, with friends, because they're, you know, they do the whole thing, as I mentioned previously. And one of the things that gets me is that, like, Final Fantasy XIV is really cool and unique in that it's got this really long history, right? Like, the game's been around for more than 10 years now. And even doing so, I don't think there's a lot of games that will let you play the game. It's different, right? It's not going to play exactly the same. But you can play the story and experience the game at least, like, we'll say 80% of what it was like when it was there at the time. And you can't say that about everything, right? You can't do that. And so I think that's a really unique, cool thing that Final Fantasy does. I realize I could just fly, but I was telling a story. But no, I'm just saying, like, you know, like, they didn't have to do that. I mean, Destiny isn't doing that. You can't play, like, the Red War or any of that stuff anymore, or Forsaken or any stuff. They took it all out for reasons. And then I was talking to a friend, he was talking to me about World of Warcraft, and I don't think you can do it in that game either. Don't worry, your Oni-chan is here. Okay, bye, Oni-chan. There you go.
It was here, this unholy, remarkable place, that mother and father met their doom. I was but a child at the time. My parents were returning from an inspection of outer interest, in eastern Thanalan when an untimely rockslide crushed their carriage. To this day, it is not certain if this incident was simple misfortune or an expertly planned assassination. There was another guy on the grassy knoll, that's what it was. Raubahn offered to reopen the investigation and bring me the truth he assumed I must surely crave, but I refused. Even if my parents' deaths were orchestrated by monitorists, we could have only brought their hirelings to justice. The true villains, those who plotted to put me on the throne as biddable puppet, were ever beyond our reach. Thus did I plan to strip the merchants of their power and place our nation in the hands of its citizens, quite unaware that the consequences of my actions would have for you and yours. I shudder to think how much many goodly souls paid the price for my naivety. But I am no longer a child reciting words in weightless obedience, and I will not be used as a pawn in the monstrous damnable games. Forgive me of my outburst. You are one of the few people whom I feel I can speak my mind. Come, let us return to Ul'dah and visit the Colosseum. I don't know why, the word Colosseum looked like it was spelled wrong. But yeah, no, it's just like finalizing that. It's just cool that you can go back and play the game in almost its entirety. And there's not a lot of games you can do that. Not games with this much content and stuff that you can do. They have removed remarkably little. Like, except for like 1.0, which, I mean, not everyone's gonna like be super into 1.0 anyway. Although, like I said, I think I mentioned in a prior episode that I did buy Final Fantasy XI so I could play that at some point, but that's an old MMO, man. I saw a friend playing that in high school, so is what it is. But let's figure out what we're doing right now. Coliseum. Ah, it's Bofo Mopo. Level 67 warrior, man. Good job, Bofo Mopo. The Gladiators Guild? No. I don't know where that is. Where is the Coliseum? Alright, so it's like just down there. Alright, we'll just, you know, we'll teleport to the 8th Red Plaza and go from there. I haven't gone into the Coliseum in so long that I just straight up brain dead and don't remember. There are a lot of people here today. Like for Halicarnassus? Halicarnassus is not exactly the most populated place ever. If I'm not mistaken, it is in fact in here. Or is this just the Pugilist Guild? Am I losing my mind? Is it not? Is it not in here? It's not in here, is it? Well, wait, what's through here? Can I get there through there here this way? No, I can't. Hello. Welcome to me getting lost. Oh, it's fantastic. I'm gonna have to start using another controller or have this one repaired soon. The Y button is wearing out. Like if I right now I'm pressing it and it doesn't do it every time. And that's subpar because it kind of messes up when I'm trying to push my abilities because if I don't push it hard enough, by golly, I tell you what. There you go, Coliseum. That looks weird. I must have seen Coliseum spelled a different way at some point, or I'm absolutely like, you know, losing my mind. I don't know. Who's this guy? Let's see. Lonely Explorer. Well, the software utility cron is a time-based scheduler in Unix. Okay. Sure, Cron Wind Waker. I appreciate that, I guess. From the moment I became Sultana, I found myself thrust into an endless parade of documented signing and ceremonies. For years, I simply signed what I was told to sign, and sat where I was told to sit, blissfully oblivious to what any of it meant. Yet one good thing did come from that ignominious chapter of my life, for it was during that official visit to the Colosseum that I first met Raubahn. The match I had been invited to attend was not at all what I expected. They had pitted the Bull of Alamigo against some dozen or so rival gladiators. Blinkered though I was, I would not stand for so obvious an injustice, and demanded to see a fair fight, one man against another, and my royal wish was duly granted. It was not until later that I learned the gambling ring which did arrange for Raubahn to die on the sands that day. Regardless, my intervention meant that Raubahn had but a single opponent to dispatch, which he duly did, and when he knelt before me to receive the winner's purse, he swore to me that one day he would offer his blade in service. Surrounded as I was by liars and manipulators, I confess I dismissed it as a pleasant piece of theater. But as you know, Raubahn is a man of his word, and though it took him another 5 years to fighting on the Blood Sands, he amassed a fortune so great as to buy not only his freedom, but a seat on the Syndicate, and then I had my blade. Okay.
Oh, it's time for a flashback. Let's go.
Pop-up video.
That guy didn't stand a chance, dude. Oh man, I remember when Raubahn had a left arm. Remember when Raubahn had a left arm? Just imagine that dude just getting cut in half. I thought she said she remembered when he fought one guy. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty solid choreography. Imagine this game had gore in it and that dude just got cut in half. Like Frieza in Dragon Ball Z. That sword will weigh so much. So the question is, did he just kill those dudes, or are they just like incapacitated because they were just sliced real bad?
Your Grace, you mustn't! The danger is too great! Please, Your Grace, come back! I beg of you!
Look how excited she is. She's like beelining, boy. She just jumped over that guy's body.
It seems you're the one who needs looking after, Master Shum. Raubahn!
Your Grace,
She's like so jazzed.
I have kept the promise made.
So you have, and in turn, so too shall I keep mine. With your winnings, you have become one of the 6 most wealthy souls in all Ul'dah. And so, as tradition dictates, Raubahn Aldin, you have earned yourself a seat on the Syndicate. May your new station garner you still greater glories.
I am honored, Your Grace, and vow to serve with every fiber of my being from this day till my last.
The cool thing about Raubahn is he's just such a, like, he keeps his word, you know what I mean? And that's good, you don't...
Long live the Sultana, and long live Ul'dah!
Woo. Alright, well that was an abrupt end, but that's cool.
Words cannot express what that man means to me. There are others who would care deeply for my well-being, of course. Papa Chan's love for me is that of a grandsire for his grandchild. But upon matters of governance, I cannot but turn on bodyguards and maidservants for counsel. Raubahn, with the authority of his syndicate position, was the first sword I could wield. His was the only edge on which I cut the strings that bound me.
We're suddenly getting Nanamo's backstory for some reason. I guess it's more Raubahn's, but it feels like it's as much hers as it is anyone else. She talked about her parents and everything else.
We must make haste. My absence will not go unnoticed by the Sultan Swarm for long, and there are other places I would visit. To the Arzenith Ossuary.
Okay, let's go to the Arzenith Ossuary. I don't know what that is either. Welcome to I don't know what that is, the game show. What is this? What is this? What is this guy? What do you sell? You sell Viking sword, iron sword, steel broadsword. So it's just like a bunch of like low level gear that I wonder if any I want to know the last guy that used this guy. I want to know who the last guy who went through here and bought something from him. I need to know. I need to know this. I'm not saying that like having that sort of thing is bad, but it's at the same time it's like, wait, what? Oh, it's the Black Mage Guild or whatever. Did you just say the Black Mages Guild? Whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That's a twisty sword right there.
When the calamity threatened, Raubahn led the Alliance forces into battle on the plains of Cardinal, and I remained here. I prayed with all my heart that Archon Louis Schwa would have the power to rouse the 12. Since that day...
By the way, fun fact, I don't think I mentioned this before. I had no idea that during the opening cutscene of Final Fantasy XIV, like The Realm Reborn, I had no idea he was trying to summon the 12 or whatever. I thought he was just doing a sealing magic. I had no idea.
Since that day, I've made a custom of visiting the shrine during each of my little excursions. Here I seek the blessing of Thal, reflect upon my choices, and ask myself if I am fulfilling my duties as Sultana. You are rightly celebrated as a champion because you have led the line in 100 battles for good of Eorzea. In much the same way, I believe the measure of a monarch lies in how she leads her people in times of adversity. If I am to be a Sultana worthy of a name, I cannot turn a blind eye to the troubles facing Ul'dah. I have chosen my path, Tiberius. With Alamigo now freed from imperial chains, I finally see a way to aid the refugees. Already many displaced Alamegans seek to begin a long trek home. To facilitate that process, I have made a small contribution as an artisan school in Ralger's Reach for any who wish to learn new trades. Realistically, however, it'll take years for such training to yield tangible benefits. But we do not have years. These people will need shelter and employment if they are to survive, and this time the Uldan Treasury shall provide. Precisely where and how to allocate the necessary funds, of course, another question.
Why you're not seeking for member of the syndicate for advice? Why not seeking advice? One who employs refugees? Yeah, let's do that.
A wise suggestion. Mayhap a visit to the Gold Saucer is in order. Its proprietor is a member of the syndicate, and he is one who few have paid refugees a fair wage. I wonder if you are acquainted with Sir Godbert Manderville?
Yeah, I know Godbert. He's a guy.
Then I need not explain his eccentric nature. Let us make our way to the landing, and I will see the word is sent to the Gold Saucer. Godbert should be only too glad to receive us.
Having a crossover with an MSQ and Godbert? Nice. Dude, that's one of my favorite moments. So my plan, I mean, obviously my plan is to finish this whole story. And then I'm probably going to take a break when I get to the end. Take like a brief hiatus. But then I'll probably come back and like I can also do some of the side stories and stuff, like do some of the dungeons I haven't done and stuff like that. And one of them I think would be really popular, definitely, would be the Manderville quest, right? Like, people love the Manderville quest. I gotta go to the airship landing, okay. But one of my favorite things in the Manderville quest is when like there's a point where he like comes running out, and I'm just gonna go to the Aetherlight Plaza. But no, he comes running out and like you see Manderville dude. Can't think of his name all of a sudden. I just keep thinking of Manderville as his name, which is not what his name is. Airship landing. Shoot, what is his name? I can't think of what it is. I feel dumb now. I just keep thinking of his name. His name is Manderville, but they're all named Manderville, so. But you get it. The main dude, right? Is being chased by Godbert, and he's just like, oh no, as like Godbert like sprints at him. It's like this really cinematic moment. It'll be great. This is fine. It'll be great.
I have ridden aboard a public airship before. This will be my first visit to the Gold Saucer. I must consent for some excitement.
I mean, a Gold Saucer is definitely a thing. To the Gold Saucer. Yes. I haven't bought a friggin' Cactopod ticket in God knows how long.
I had heard descriptions of its splendor, yet I never dreamed it would be so bright and inviting.
It's very busy, that's for sure.
No, I couldn't possibly. We did not come here to further away than Royal Coin. Godbert will be expecting us. Come, let us head directly to the lounge and ignore these gaudy temptations.
I mean, maybe you will. I'm gonna stop off and do some stuff. You can do it, because I ain't never come here. Well, I haven't come here in a while anyway. Alright, let's do mini Cactopod. I actually do pretty well at these most of the time. Oh my gosh! And they upped the Cactopod. Oh, it's right with the golden saucer thing. That's why it's so busy here. They have a bonus where that, and look at that, my first ticket. Alright, so is that this? Well, that one's not doable. Can't get that. Let's do that. But yeah, it's like all the payouts are increased, which is pretty cool. Alright, we go for this one. Nope. You know, still we got a 15k off that. That's not bad. And then, I know it wants us to go talk to her wherever, but you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go to the thing. Let's go to the Cactopod board. Because I'm not above going to the Cactopod board. Morna Fa is lost. Alright, hi. Level 37 Arcanist, nice. Alright, yeah, I know. It pities you to say that I didn't turn in my last Cactopod. God knows when I actually did that. Alright, so we'll end 1 and 3. I always just like go for like one where the last number in each one is different. So I have a chance on like whatever it is. There we go. There we go. Alright, now where are we to go? Is it over this way? Looks like it's this way. I'm about to go up that way? Okay, let's just jump across. Hiya. Oh, is it actually up a level? Am I that dumb? Okay. Okay. Let's jump in this thing. Hey, what do you know? There he is. There she is. I think the same, like, Nissan or whatever.
I believe this is where we are to meet Lord Mandeville. Shall we sit and wait while he is coming?
Yes, we should. Godberg, my apologies, Your Grace. I've kept you waiting.
No apologies necessary, Godbird. My request was sudden, and you were kind to make yourself available at such short notice.
When the intrepid Tiberius Fox and the Sultana herself come calling, there is no more important engagement. I'm intrepid. Let's go.
As to the purpose of my visit, I would have varied thoughts on how the Crown might be best aid refugees residing in Thanalan. You are aware, I am sure, that many of Alamigo's displaced sons and daughters long to return to their newly liberated homeland, and you also are aware of how they will suffer without shelter and work to sustain them. I would use our nation's wealth to spare them that suffering. What advice would you have for me on the matter of how it might be best distributed?
I don't think you should. I think you should figure it out themselves. The unusual circumstances of our meeting and your Grace's choice of companion would suggest to me the desire for an honest and unvarnished opinion. I shall give you one. My advice to you is stop. Taxing Uldah's wealth to save Alamigan refugees is a terrible, terrible idea. Based. Let's go. Godbird's a Chad.
You oppose my proposition?
Most emphatically. I agree with your Grace that refugees should have housing and employment. But what profit is there, Uldah, in this arrangement?
Profit? After all you've done with Garabani's displacement, I thought you the very last person to seek the benefit of their misfortune.
Forgive me, your Grace, but you appear to be laboring under misapprehension. It is a fine endeavor to support one's fellow man. I fear, however, that your stance is born of pity. Your intention is to save the refugees, is it not? He's completely right. 100%. For all your potential, we are indolent creatures by nature. If unconditional charity is all we know, then we begin to rely upon it, and to expect it. And then we must consider Uldah's own poor and downtrodden. Should they hear of your suspending the nation's coin, not to improve their lot, but to nurture the distant citizens of Alamigo, it is unlikely they will applaud your generosity. Surely it is not your Grace's intention to foster new resentments, but to spread goodwill?
Indeed. Then any support I pledge to the refugees must promote self-sufficiency, whilst also serving the interests of the people of Uldah.
She's got it, let's go. Exactly so. Such an arrangement will create a far more equitable relationship with the returning Alamigans, even as it generates the revenue required with the approval of your subjects.
You've given me much to ponder, Lord Manderville. I thank you for your candor.
I've had nothing to say in this conversation. No inquiries as to the Warrior of Light and his opinion on this matter. It's fine. I don't need to, I just think it's funny. They're like, we brought you along. Sit here and say nothing and just smile and nod.
Profit. The thought never even crossed my mind. But standing about lamenting my naivete will not do anyone any good. I shall consider my lesson learned and press on. Tiberius, are you perchance acquainted with any successful merchants? If any attempt at philanthropy is to be obliged and reap a profit, it would seem wise to consult someone with a knack for business.
Am I actually going to be asked?
Ordinarily, I would not trust any agent of the Eastern Alnar Trading Company, but if you would hold this Hancock fellow with high esteem, I am content to be led by you. You may repay him my faith by journeying to the distant Kugane and speaking with him on my behalf. Eager though I am to visit those shores, I have not the leisure for a lengthy sea voyage. Now, assuming you will travel as adventurers are wont to do, I shall await your report by the 8th Rite in Uldah. A fair journey to you, Tiberius, and a swift one, if you please.
I love that. Hey, you want to, do we know any good businessmen? And I'm like, yeah, Hancock's pretty good. And I'm like, which is not untrue, but then it's like, well, how should we get there? Well, let me tell you, let's just teleport, you teleport over to Kugane, talk to dude. Sometimes I do wonder, is 8th Rite teleportation absolutely instantaneous? Or do we just perceive it as instantaneous? Right? I mean, it kind of implies it, but, you know, what if it, I just realized I don't have to run over there. I can just do this. Aetherite, and then the Ruby Bazaar. Let's go. I wonder if What's-Her-Face is still in here. Or she went back somewhere.
Greetings, honored sir. Will you be entering the Ruby Bazaar offices?
Yes. Alright,
Tiberius, to what I owe the pleasure. Or are you here on business?
I actually am here on business, believe it or not.
I beg your pardon. Her Grace the Sultana would have my opinion on how to best invest in the wealth of Ul'dah. My dear Tiberius, I have to thank you for this recognition, I am sure, and I am flattered that you came to me, truly flattered. But why settle for a lowly apprentice when you can have the master? Upon matters of profit, there is no living soul better qualified to advise Her Grace than Chairman Lolorito, a man whose morning exertions are said to fill his garderobe with gold. I should be happy to arrange a meeting for you, say at the Scion's former headquarters in Thanalan. The Waking Sands would be a suitably neutral venue for negotiations, don't you think? Fare you well, Tiberius, and may your dealings prove fruitful.
Man, I came all the way here for you to set up a meeting. I'm just slightly salty. Just a touch salty about it. Just a little bit. It's wild goose chase shenanigans. Alright, where you at? You're not even in here. Oh, somebody died. It's a man that looks like a bird. It's a dragoon. It's Leroy M. Jenkins. Deck holder. Alright, level 64 dragoon. I respect it. What are these goobs doing? Hang on. Oh, they're all tiny little people sitting in like an arc. Okay. Well, they're sociopaths. Let's go. It's been documented for the sake of documentation.
Welcome back, Tiberius. Did your merchant friend have any useful advice to share?
He said you should talk to Lolorito. I don't think it's a good idea, but like, whatever.
With Lolorito, and you agreed to this?
Well, I mean, I kind of was forced to agree with it.
I am well aware of his standing in the field of business, but I'd hoped to keep the monitors at arm's length, and him in particular. Nay, I cannot live in fear of the man. I must learn how to treat him if you are under Ul'dah effectively.
I wonder if this path would have changed if instead of saying, like, the one thing and going to talk to Godbert, that it would have just, like, deflected me directly to Lolorito. Or if it would have been reversed.
Very well. Follow me with Lolorito. Let us go on ahead to the Waking Sands, prepare for his coming.
You know what I could really use? A dungeon. I tell you what, they're not gonna give me the you know... Oh my gosh, teleported me here? That's awesome. I love it when they cut out the middleman like that.
So this is where the Scions first congregated. I've heard many tales, but never the occasion to visit. To work then. The hour of meeting draws near, and I will gather my thoughts. Pray see to it that we have appointed room for ourselves.
We talked to Oriange. Is he still here? Man, we're standing kind of near where he usually stands, so...
A personal summons from the Scions. This must be important business indeed. Though, if it concerns anything so underhand as an assassination, I fear I can be of little help.
This guy's so slimy, it's hilarious. You need a blindfold to hide the look in your eyes of sheer hubris. Actually, right there. Come on in. These chairs are bigger than you are. Oh, we're all blindfolding? Where's my blindfold? Do I have a little mask blindfold?
You have made your point. 'Tis indeed unsettling to find oneself seated across from an impassive mask.
Oh, he's actually gonna take it off? That's clever, okay. Finally.
There, would this better please your grace? Or should I address you as Lady Lilira?
Nay, the deception has served its purpose. I'm glad to see you found amusement in my little jest, Lord Lolorito, but shall we proceed to the business at hand?
Yeah, let's do
By
that.
all means. I must say, I'm most eager to hear your proposal.
Simply put, I would aid the refugees camped in Thanalan in their efforts to return to Alamigo. The reparations you paid in the wake of your earlier misdemeanors will be used to fund the endeavor, together with the fortune seized from the late Teleji Adeleji's estate.
Teleji Adeleji still paying for being a scumbag with his dumb plan.
But this plan is not intended to benefit the displaced alone. I would make of this an investment which shall enrich Uldar and Alamigo both. And who better to consult on matters of profit than the wealthiest man in all of Thanalan? I beseech you then, Lord Lolorito, share with us your mercantile wisdom.
She landed on thick, boy, I tell you what. Inflate that ego.
Twould seem your grace has matured beyond acts of earnest yet misplaced charity. Pray tell me more.
Yeah, she matured by getting scorned by Godbert. Godbert put her in her place, and then she was like, yeah, I'm smarter now.
To summarize, in return for facilitating the repatriation of refugees and assisting in the establishment of new industry in Alamigo, you ask that a proportion of all subsequent profits be promised to Uldar. Huh, I am impressed, Your Grace. 'Tis an elegant solution, albeit one lacking certain crucial details, specifically which industry and where.
How swiftly you identified the weakness in my plan, just as I knew you would. Your travels have taken you across the length and breadth of Gir Abania, and you know the land far better than I.
They actually want to know what I think? Are you serious? Really?
Which of the settlements you visited would best provide a home for our refugees? Which has the greatest potential to flourish, given the appropriate investment?
Aligana, Aligiri, or the Saltery? I mean, so here's the thing. Aligana, fine. Aligiri, fine. The Saltery, though, is the place you would put an industry. And those other places are placed for industry, so let's just say the Saltery. It's the logical choice.
Ah, yes, that desolate little village on the shore of Loch Seld. I know the Saltery and its products well. The Imperial invasion brought an end to their more widespread distribution, much to the dismay of many a wealthy gourmand, myself included. Salt has ever been a transformative ingredient, and in this instance, I dare say, it could transform a modicum of effort into a mountain of gill.
The local citizens will need to be consulted, of course, but I trust the East Aldenar Trading Company can be relied upon to provide its assistance in negotiating a mutually beneficial arrangement.
Naturally, Your Grace. I shall dispatch representatives well versed in the extraction of this white gold and wring every last ounce of profit from its production. The Loch's bounty will contribute to Alamigo's enrichment, whilst easing the burden on the bull's aching shoulders. Just as Your Grace desired.
Hey man, you don't know.
A deal is struck then.
Alright, let's see what she's got to say now.
I fear it will be many years before I feel comfortable taking part in such negotiations, but I shall not complain. We have piqued Lolorito's interest and secured his invaluable expertise. Thank you, Tiberius. I could not have done it without you.
That's right, I broker deals. I'm the man who brokers deals. I'm like a Ferengi.
Of course it is decided. I shall return to the palace and have my ministers begin work on implementing the particulars of the plan. If you could prevail upon you one more time, Tiberius, I would ask that you convey the details of our negotiations to Commander Hext on your return to Alamigo.
Sure.
Many thanks again. Together we have laid the groundwork for an endeavor which promises to benefit the peoples of Alamigo and Ul'dah both.
Alright, to the Alamigan Quarter. My favorite place of all places. Alright. Oh, there she is again.
There she is again!
Oh, it's got the upbeat music.
Tiberius, you're back. What did Nanamo... Oh, sorry. Are you allowed to talk about your audience with the Sultana?
Yeah, we brokered some deals. It was cool.
So, Raubahn says he's going to return to Ul'dah, but she isn't sure he wants to. Tell us something we don't know, but I'm pleased to hear she's committed to helping our refugees come home. And this plan will revitalize the Sultry does make a lot of sense. Quite how you convinced her to seek Lolorito's help is another question. After all this has happened, he is the very last person I would expect her to turn to for advice. But on a more practical note, Lise, assuming the interim government elects to accept Ul'dah's proposal, I have one caveat I should like to include in the bargain. Alamigo must be permitted to cover a portion of the investment. We have a fortune at our disposal, after all, and allowing Ul'dah to provide the entirety of the capital will afford Lolorito too much control.
She's not wrong. That's a good play.
Honestly, Alphino, it's like Kugane never happened. What exactly does a ruthless profiteer have to do to earn your trust?
That's a good one.
But yes, you do make a good point. First things first, though, we need to discuss the proposal for the Sultry's residence. Whiskar, how do you fancy explaining the Sultana's plan to your grandfather? I'd like to hear what Watt thinks of the idea before agreeing to anything.
Right away, Commander. Would you mind coming along, Tiberius? I might need you to fill in the details.
Then I shall come as well. Should Watt wish to discuss figures, my knowledge of the nation's finances may prove useful.
Alright, we're gonna go talk more business. Like, this has been a nice little diversion. I'm not saying it's, like, bad, but I'm, like, kind of, at this point, getting tired of it. Like, I just want to move on. Like, but I'm hoping they're setting up something here that, like, I just am not aware of. Because, like, I'm just like, I don't care. Just let me move on and go do something, like, worthwhile. Go fight something cool. That's what I do. That's what the Warrior of Light does. He fights things. That's what Man with Hat all does also. He fights things. Let's see. There's a statue in the dirt. Salt, I guess. Gotta go up. That's really far away. Imagine you couldn't fly at this point. It'd take you like 10 minutes to get over here. At least it feel like 10 minutes anyway. What manner of mischief brings your young and old Watt this time, eh? They want to rebuild the Sultry, Granddad. Tiberius, tell him about the deal. Yeah, they want to rebuild the Sultry. That's the deal. Well, bugger me. I've never had a coin or the hands to put the place back to how it was, but it sounds like that's about to change. There's just one small wrinkle in your plan. It doesn't account for all the nasties queuing up to eat anyone who goes near the shore. The king used to send soldiers to kill the buggers, but the Imperials weren't about to help the likes of us. Don't worry, Granddad. We'll take care of all that. Commander Hext has been taking about starting up regular patrols, and I'm sure she'd assign me to the Locked if I asked. I'd appreciate it, Whiskar, my lad, it truly would. So does this mean you've gotten better with your blade of yours? I've been training, aye, but mostly to kill Imperials. You've got some experience fighting monsters, don't you, Tiberius? Think you could cast an eye on over a few local besties to teach me how to deal with them? Oh my gosh, really? Okay. Let's not waste any time then. Let's see you by the lock. Alright, I'll go fight the thing. Whilst you may be attending the local fauna, I shall have Master Watt explain to me exactly what is required to restore the Sultry to its former glory. Good hunting. I mean, at least I'm fighting stuff, right? I did say I wanted to fight stuff, so I guess I shouldn't complain, right? Just like, eh. Alright, Whiskar. Right then, Tiberius. I've got a spyglass here that you can use to take a closer look at these pests. Once you've gotten to their measure, we can tell me what to do, and we'll see how I get on. Search over surrounding abbeys. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out. Target the Abbey inspected with right trigger and A. Okay. Is that one? Observe the Abbey and determines vulnerabilities. Alright. I'm doing something wrong here, I'm sure of it. I'm just saying, like, what am I doing here? I am doing something wrong. I don't know. Discover its weak point. Is its head? It should be its head. Is it the tail? Alright, let's go like closer. I don't know. Man, I am missing something here. We are talking about this thing, right? The only thing I can see. I don't understand. It wants me to observe, but I don't understand what am I observing? Oh, there we go. So now I can see it. So hang on. Okay. I haven't seen any of those words up to this point. There, finally. Good grief. I'm like looking for like what I'm looking for, and I can't see the words. It was a pretty narrow targeting there. I'm just saying. The Abbey's entire body is protected by a hard carapace, but the underside of the head looks like soft and vulnerable. Alright. Ah, it looks like you found a Yabby. They say hitting their shells is like smacking a rock. Any suggestions? Aim for the side of the just hit it as hard as you can. That's what I would do. Weaknesses are for the weak. Just hit them as hard as you can. Vulnerable under the head, are they? Right then, wish me luck. You can do it, dude. Just tell them, like, go and hit it as hard as you can when... There you go, dude. Then you didn't die. Oh, you play the trance music. Nice. We did it! Yay! Thanks, Tiberius. I did just as you told me, and the wavekin went down like a sack of potatoes. Let's find something else. Alright. Where are we going? Over the dock? The dock? No. Oh, it's beyond the dock. It's up on the sand, salt, whatever. I think I can handle the Abbeys now, so we should try something different. What else is out there? I can't imagine. At least I know what I'm doing now. I just gotta find, like, this spot. I gotta find whatever it is that labels it. There it is. The eye. I couldn't find, like, what I was looking for, so I didn't know that I was, like, targeting a specific thing or what. So... The Phobad's hands are large and powerful, but destroying its crystallized core should render the salt golem inanimate. You sense power pulsating from behind its brow. Ah, a Phobad. How do I defeat one of those? For the core within its brow, just hit it really, really hard as you can. I'll give him the right. I was so tempted to just tell him just hit it as hard as you can. I just don't want to risk the dude. He's a good guy. Inside its head, is it? I'll try to stab right between its eyes then. Like, I don't want to lead him, etc., you know what I mean? I know someone out there did that because they did not care, but I do care. I don't mind this car, he's a good guy. He's so proud of himself, look at him. Imagine I tell him the wrong information, he gets murdered by some random monster in a salt lake. Sorry, dude. I know they wouldn't do that, they would just be like, oh, it just didn't work out, or whatever. It's not easy fighting with the Liberator of Alamigo watching your every move, but I got the job done.
Thanks for your advice, Tiberius. I feel a lot better prepared for my patrols now. Anyway, we should get back to the Saltery before Granddad starts to worry I've been snipped into pieces and fed to Yabby's hatchlings. I could have easily probably made that happen if I wanted to. Chocobo. Two-seater chocobo. Remember how hyped I was for the two-seating mounts? When I got the... This is from the Refer a Friend thing. I was so excited for that. What is that? Oh, it's lightning. I didn't know there was lightning going on here. That's neat. I wonder what the relevance of that is besides potentially getting hit if you're really not paying attention. I see you returned in one piece. Dealt with those beasties then, did you? I fought them myself, after a bit of instruction from Tiberius here, like. Once I've shared what I've learned with the others, we should have no trouble keeping the shoreline clear. Good lad. I find a young man who's welcome. You become Whiskar. A fine young man indeed. Too often of late I hear tales of folk over in the city drunk on victory and hungry for revenge. Their heads stuck firmly in the past. But we need to set our sights on the future, on things which will improve our lot. Things like getting the Saltery ready to welcome our long-lost countrymen. Alright. It seems Whiskar has the Saltery security well in hand. Meanwhile, have discussed the next steps of Master Watt and completed my inspection of the site. With a little work, the vacant buildings here could become made into very presentable dwellings. I feel bad to that guy in the background who's been stuck there with that box forever. Message from General Aldine. Apologies for the interruption, sir, but the General would speak with you at your earliest convenience. I mean, okay, sure. Do not feel obliged to wait around on my account. I will remain here to hammer out the finer details with Watt, and act as an intermediary with our business partners in Ul'dah. You should go. General Aldine asks that you wait for him by the main gate of Ala meeting quarter. My apologies again, sire. Sir, fare you well. I feels bad that none of us ever salute him back with anything. Just nothing. Just like, thanks for the salute, bye. Alright, let's go talk to Raubahn. I can't imagine what the super important thing he has. Maybe he's frustrated that everyone wants to know what he's doing, but no one has consulted him. I feel like that would be a thing Raubahn would be frustrated by. Is that actually it? I will think it's slightly comical if it is. But I would also not be surprised by that turnabout at all. It surely is my dude just riding this turtle. Are you turtly enough for the Turtle Club? Master Roshi over here. Rodan. I don't actually remember which one the turtle one is from Godzilla. I don't remember at all. Oh. I can probably just fly over the wall. What am I doing? I can just go through the door. What am I doing? We don't have to make this big thing. Just talk to the guard. I will be going inside, yes. Oh, we're gonna do some waiting. Now we play the waiting game. That's pretty. Look how big my feet look right there. It's crazy.
Apologies for the wait. People are screaming for the butcher's blood again. No sooner have we broken up one mob than another forms. Thankfully, all have been amenable to reason, thus far.
You should transfer her somewhere else.
But it is no concern of yours.
Just send her to Ul'dah or something. Like, I talked to
We must
Sultana.
speak of the men Arenvald and his comrades apprehended in the peaks.
Huh?
By their uniforms, the captives were first judged to be Imperial troops. But after further investigation, their true identities came to light. I dare say you remember Yuyuhasi and Laurentius, the fugitives who conspired with Captain Ilberd in the Crystal Braves' betrayal.
I was actually just thinking, I was like, what are they, like Crystal Braves or something? And it's like,
well,
oh.
It would seem they followed him all the way to the wall. It was they who orchestrated the slaughter of the resistance fighters prior to the Griffin's infernal ritual.
Uh-huh.
Were it in your hands, how would you punish these men?
You're actually asking me what I would do? Their lives would be forfeit. Execution is not the end. Man, I don't know. Like, so me as a person, like, I'm not all for kill. So I think it is definitely contingent on the crime. If someone is doing something repeatedly wrong and they have no interest in changing their ways, then rehabilitation is not going to help them, right? Then they're just taking up resources and they have no interest in it. It's like, why am I keeping them alive? I mean, I guess unless you think them being in jail is really bad. Now, depending on what country you're in, where you're at, it'd be real bad. On the other hand, like, I'm not all for just like killing people, like just out. I think people should have the opportunity to change. But all right, so I'm gonna say this: if we're willing to give Fordola a chance, right, and not murder her immediately, then I think that Hase and the other dudes should be given the same chance in this particular context. If it were anything else, like it was Ilberd that was captured, I'd just say no, just put him in the thing, like probably. But we're gonna say it's not the answer at this point. If we're gonna give Fordola a
You would
pass, we should
spare
go.
these animals. Yours is a more merciful brand of justice than mine.
Yeah.
In any event, I thank you for your honesty. When the time comes for the Alliance to pass judgment, I'll see that your opinion is heard.
That's fair.
Well, that concludes our business here.
Thinking back about it though,
But there is more I would say.
considering it,
Walk with me.
there is another aspect of that I hadn't considered also. Fordola was doing what she was doing because she was trying to like save her homeland in a different way. So you can kind of understand why she did what she did. Hase and the other guy are just jerks. They did it just for their own gain. That was it. So maybe I could have executed them. I don't know. But that's neither here nor there. I'm sure that the game will be like, it's like Mass Effect. Everyone, it's like, oh man, we can't survive the suicide mission now because I decided to spare Hase. You know what I mean? Or told them that they should.
I bear a share of the blame for Ilberd's atrocities. Had I openly supported the cause of Alamegan liberation, he might not have felt driven to do what he did.
Then again, it might have not have happened if you hadn't. The whole cascade of everything that's happened is all flown out from that, so... I mean, you could say we made the best of the situation at hand, but I mean, like, be real.
Things could have been different, and I'm sorry they aren't.
I don't know, worry about it, you're fine. Ain't nothing but a G thing, it's fine.
But even after all that has happened, my homeland is free. With the Scions and the Alliance at their side, my countrymen have reclaimed what many thought lost forever. Under her new leadership, I have every confidence that Alamigo will emerge from the shadow of the Empire and rise once more to greatness.
By the way, tangent, the game, Star Wars Shadows of the Empire, hard game, a little clunky, great game, great story. I loved it.
Which means my work here is done. Soon I will return to Ul'dah and take my place at the Sultana's side.
You
Father.
sure about that? Are you sure about that?
I'll not deny there's a part of me that wants to stay. The same part that contemplated renouncing my rank and joining you as a wandering sellsword.
Oh man, that'd been cool. Imagine Raubahn joins the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. That'd be crazy.
But I pledged my blade to Nanamo, and I will not betray that oath.
I respect it. Just imagine though what
Is
could
this
have been.
truly what you want, Father?
He joins us and he's like suddenly he's a Scion of the Seventh Dawn alongside of everything. Imagine he was in Dawn Trail.
It is. Ever has my sword been hers to command, and ever shall it remain. Thank you for lending an ear. When all the rest are clamoring for me to stay, I trust you'll send me on my way.
Oh, look at his soft eyes. Aw. That's such friendly eyes out of Raubahn. He usually has such a stern look in his face. I do think it's slightly comical though that like he gave his son a sword, but it's like mostly because he only has one arm now, so what's he gonna do with the other one? I know. Crass, but whatever. That took longer than I intended, but at least you know where I stand. Now that that's settled, Arenvald, what news?
We have a problem, sir. A group of Venanta has arrived at the main gates, and I don't mean the Vira.
These are Kalyana, the ones that summon the primal. They're insisting they be allowed to attend the council. Police is trying to reason with them, but she may need help. An invitation from extended to all the native beast tribes, but we assumed the Kalyana would have refused it out of hand. We had best go and see for ourselves. Pippin, take command of our forces and be ready for battle. Tiberius, you've dealt with these Kalyana before. I'd have you at my side. Yeah, sure. I'll come help you. I fight some snake people. Snake thing and people ain't even a thing. Alright. Yeah, we want to pass through. Let's go. Alright, let's go for a quick jaunt. With my squiggly worm, little wiggle worm arm thing. Let's probably wrap this one up and then we'll call it for this one. I know my musical inclinations are top tier. I know. Oh, there they are. Let's see what's up. What the Kalyana want?
Tiberius, Raubahn, gosh, it's good to see you. Ah, the Slayer has come. We have not forgotten how you sinned against the Lady of Bliss, but we did not come here to shed blood. You claim to seek harmony with all who call Girabania home. If this is truly your wish, you will welcome us as envoy of the Ananta. It is our wish, and you are welcome, but we cannot condone the summoning of primals. If you want to enter the palace, you must ask that you first surrender any crystal jewelry. You have my word that it will be returned to you when the meeting is over. We will do as you ask, but you will not have our weapons. We are not so foolish as to place ourselves entirely at the mercy of our tormentors.
I reckon that it's the closest we're going to get to a compromise, and we will have people standing guard. Aye, let them keep their swords.
Then we have an agreement. Let them wave a meeting chamber.
It's the fabled meeting. I like this little wispy effect that's going on because of the weather. Why do I have the feeling we're the Viper into our midst? Ain't wrong. I like the three of us stand there just to say that. Alright, well with that, I think you know what's going on. It's till next time.